Okay, so in this video, we're talking about 5 habits to make 2025 the greatest year of your life, both in business and personally as well. I went through some of the toughest times of my entire life in this past year, but it still ended up being one of the greatest years of my entire life because of the habits that I developed, and I'm sharing those with you today in this video. So focus on this video, take notes during it, and I promise it will change your life like it has mine. It's extremely important to create a morning routine that both energizes you and focuses you on all the tasks that you're going to have to do throughout the day. You don't want to wake up and be thinking about all the emails you have to send, all the problems you have. You want to wake up and start it out positive. And let me share with you what I do personally for that that's made a huge impact on my life. So in this past year, like I mentioned before, I went through some of the toughest times in my life. I went through a divorce. Every single day I was, still doing work, still pushing through, but, mentally I was just really in a dark place, and it was hard to, not only clear my mind, but focus my mind on work and trying to improve myself, both personally, mentally, physically. It was just really hard to get out of that. This past year has really helped me get more in touch spiritually, which has made a huge impact on my life. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, if you believe in God, you believe in the universe. It doesn't matter. What I'm about to tell you can help you no matter what you believe in. So what I do when I first wake up is I, pray. I thank God for giving me another day on this earth, giving me life, giving me, the ability to try to be a better person, to try to be a reflection of Him and His light and His love and His kindness. And thanking Him for my family, the health of me, my animals, the people I care about. I'll start my day off by, it's getting me emotional thinking about it. I'll start my day off by, just being grateful and thankful for all the good things I have in my life, because I do have a good life. A lot of times it's really, hard for us to remember that and to focus on all the good things in our life, because there are so many bad things, and it's constantly pushed at us through social media and the news and everything. It's just made a huge, huge difference in how positive I feel throughout the day and how much energy I feel. So that's what I said, no matter if you believe in God, the universe, when you take time in the morning to be grateful for what you have, for the ability that you have every day to be better and try to get better, when you start your day off in a positive tone of feeling grateful for all those things, it really sets the tone for your day. And my days were so much better this year when I started doing that. I'm going to do it every single day this year. It's something that I'm going to stay consistent with because it's made such a huge impact on my life. Right after I pray in the morning, I do 10 minutes of meditation. Now, you can do this however you want. You don't need to use an app for it. What I do is I use a YouTube video. Like, I usually rotate between a few different ones. Whatever problems you have, whatever you have to do, you have 10 minutes. You can spend 10 minutes to do this because it's going to change your life and have a huge impact on you. I'm more productive throughout the day. I have way more energy. Whenever, a negative or maybe a problem or like a bad thought comes into my mind, I'm able to realize that it's a bad thought. Like, as soon as it happens, I recognize it and I'm like, okay, what can I look at in this? What's the positive side of this? And there always is a positive side. So, and even if, there's no positive side at the moment, it's way better to focus on what you can control, what you can improve, than focus on things that are out of your control, because you're just going to be stuck in a loop of feeling bad and feeling negative. Start doing it every morning. It's going to take 10 or 15 minutes. That's it. It's so quick, and it will have such a positive impact on your life, I promise you. I specifically remember Ed Milet saying that he believes what we really want is the feeling of accomplishing something, the feeling of making a certain amount of money, the feeling of recognition. It's not so much the actual things, it's the emotion and feeling that we get from accomplishing those.
You don't want a bunch of money. You want how you think a bunch of money is going to make you feel, if that's what you want. You don't even necessarily want a relationship. You want how you think that relationship will make you feel. You want to be super fit and jacked. You want how you think you will feel if you're super fit and jacked. So what we're all trying to find is an emotion, is a feeling.
Okay, so habit number 2 is daily visualization and manifesting. So this means you need to align your mindset with your ambitions by visualizing your goals And also, thinking about the emotion, like if you accomplished a goal, how would it make you feel to actually accomplish it? So everything that I visualized and, manifested has actually came true. One of the first things I can think about is my Tesla. In 2018, I bought a brand new Tesla Model X. I was one of the first people in my state and county to even have one. My first car was a 1999 Dodge Neon. I got that in high school. Half the time I left my house, I didn't know if I was going to make it to school. I specifically remember I went on a date with a girl and I was on my way to go pick her up and my car just died. My goal back then was just to have a car that was reliable. I visualized it every day, what it would look like. I would visualize the falcon wing doors rising up, getting out of the car and just, the feeling of driving it. And that's one of the things that actually came true and I was able to manifest. A couple more examples of that would be, reaching $1 million on Upwork. That was always a huge goal of mine. I thought about it every day. And by, visualizing and manifesting it, it forced me to take massive action and put in the work to actually get that goal. I knew that like each and every day I had to make a certain amount of money. I had to work with a certain amount of clients if I wanted to reach that, and it not take 30 years to get there. It only took me like 6 years, maybe 6 or 7 years to hit $1 million on Upwork. And the same thing applies for YouTube. I hit 100,000 subscribers last year. That was always a huge goal of mine. I envisioned what it would look like to have this plaque right here in my house and, holding it and everything. I thought about it every day and you know what? Like it forced me to put in massive action. I uploaded one video every single week for a long time and I'm getting back to actually doing that again. What got me to this point of having that one is not going to get me to 1 million. I have to put in a lot more work. I have to be way more consistent. I have to make the right types of videos that will grow my channel and allow me to put more of my time, effort, and energy into my channel. We can accomplish anything. It's all about setting our mind on something and then actually putting in the work that it's going to take, having a plan to get there. And one great step, the first step you can take with that is start visualizing what you want every day because you can manifest it. Your body and your mind are tools and you need to give them what they need to be the best, to perform the best. And when you have a, strong, consistent diet and you work out consistently as well, you're going to give both of those what they need to perform the best. I made a conscious effort this year to develop a habit of consistently eating clean and eating foods that give me the most energy, that allow me to be my best every day, to feel the best. And this involves building a lifestyle that supports both your body and mind so that you can show up at your best every single day and feel the best. So in this past year, I consumed tons and tons of health content, like an unreal amount of health content about eating healthy, eating, the best foods, and also, eliminating a lot of things that, I was consuming that are just horrible for you. I started eating a consistent diet that includes vegetables, eating a lot of different types of, healthy seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds. Most of the foods I eat come out of the ground. They're not made in some lab somewhere, in a packaged product. A good rule of thumb is if you look at the ingredients on some type of product and you can't pronounce one of them, or you have no clue what it looks like or anything, then you probably shouldn't be putting it in your body. And it's made a massive improvement on my life. Like right now, I feel like I look better and feel better than I have probably since high school. And I'm completely honest when I say that. It's the best I've felt in a very long time. And a huge part of that is my consistent habit of my diet. Diet is not the only thing, it really does matter what you put in your body. That should be probably the number one thing in this habit. But the second part of it is also, exercise and working out and movement. That's another huge part of this one. So I grew up playing sports competitively like basketball. So I've always worked out and, enjoyed working out. But in the past year, I developed the habit of consistently working out. So, for all of the past year, I worked out at least 3 days a week. And it's usually like a 30-minute workout. And right after that, I'll do about 15 minutes of yoga just to get some stretching in as well. So it doesn't matter what you start off with. You could start off by just walking for, 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day or whatever it is. Just go outside and walk. You don't have to start, lifting weights and doing high intensity interval training, which is what I do, because if you start off small, you can build up and you're going to stay more consistent and not burn yourself out. So prioritizing your health and energy is probably the most important habit that you can start this year. It's going to trickle into everything else, because when you have more energy, you're in a better mood, you feel better, you look better. It's going to make everything else a lot better as well. I know it has for me, and it can for you. And another part of that is definitely your sleep and your sleep quality. So, what I do for sleep is I just try to get 7 to 8 hours every night. That's what I personally do. If I get 7 to 8 hours, I feel good. I could probably get by with 6, but I don't feel as good. Again, I think it's really important to, take your phone or whatever it is, keep it out of your bedroom, or at least keep it out of reach if you use it as an alarm. And then you can wake up in the morning without having your phone, attached to you. It's really hard to break out of that. Start your day off positively and don't let your phone or something like that ruin it. This habit right here can make you the most money this year, probably out of each habit on this video, because it's going to allow you to be more productive and to actually focus on what you're doing. So going back to what we just talked about is, taking this thing right here and limiting the time you spend on it, the times you pick it up, the apps you open throughout the day. Limit those as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying you should never pick this thing up. You should never open an app on it. You should never text anyone back. You should never open social media. What I mean for this habit is to just create boundaries regarding, when you actually use it, what apps you open, because if you don't, it's going to kill your productivity. There are so many things that pop up on it throughout the day. It just constantly takes your mind from whatever you're working on and moves it over to this thing. First off, what I mentioned earlier, when I wake up every day, I do not pick this up for the first 30 minutes of the day, unless the only exception would be if I, open one of the meditation YouTube videos to do my meditation. That's the only exception. It's really important to start your day, productive, clearing your mind, getting focused for the day, and not, just starting off by scrolling through every social media app. It's just made a huge difference on my life this past year, and I hope that it can for you as well. What I actually like to do is I go to YouTube and I'll pull up brown noise. It clears my mind so I can focus solely on what I'm working on. I can put all of my energy, all of my focus, everything into that one single task. I'll, open it on my phone, put my AirPods in, and then I'll put my phone out of reach where, I can't reach and grab it. I would have to actually get up to get my phone. And that just helps me not pick it up when I'm actually working. So one thing you can do for this habit is to set boundaries. Like, if you're working from home, like I do, you can have certain hours of the day where no one can interrupt you. If you work from home, you have other people there, like maybe your spouse or someone, set a boundary with them. Say, hey, I'm working in these hours. I don't want to be distracted. If you come home at the end of the day and you're trying to build a business on the side, that's what I did before I got to where I'm at now. I came home from work every day and I built my other business. That could be what you're doing. If you do that, you need to have a conversation with your spouse, your partner, whoever it is, your kids, and say, hey, I need these 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is, these 2 or 3 hours, you need to leave me alone. When Marvel Rivals came out, it became a habit to where I was playing it every single day after work for, an hour or two every single day. And I'm not trying to say like anything's bad with gaming. Like I love video games. I still play video games. I've actually been playing Path of Exile, which is phenomenal. But I try to limit how much I play. Like, if I play like 1 or 2 days a week for like an hour, I feel pretty good about that. But when it becomes a habit to where I'm doing it every single day, it just takes, too much of my time away from stuff I'm trying to build. And I start feeling guilty for doing it, which creates negative energy. I definitely recommend buying a notebook that you can keep on your desk or somewhere in your office or just around you. And whenever you encounter a distraction, write it down. Because if you write it down, you're going to remember it later. You can go back and look at it and say, okay, this distracted me. What can I do to limit it? 2 of my favorite entrepreneurs and just, role models that I follow are Andy Frisella and Ed Milet. I've consumed probably every single YouTube video they've both uploaded. I basically get something out of every one of those videos that I can apply to myself and make myself better. Okay, so habit number 5 is to feed your mind intentionally. Now, what I mean by that is creating an atmosphere of either content, people, or a combination of those, which is what I do, that feed your mind what you need to grow, to create a growth-oriented mindset and get yourself to the next level. So what I personally do is I consume their content when I'm doing, certain things throughout the day, where having something on in the background is really easy and it doesn't, distract me from my work or something like that. I have this little Bose speaker that is waterproof. I bought it on, I think, Amazon or Best Buy or something like that. I put it right outside my shower, and on my phone, I pull up one of their YouTube videos and I just listen to it when I'm taking a shower. The other ways I consume their content are, if I'm driving somewhere, I'm going on like a long car ride or, traveling, I will pull up one of their videos and listen to it while I'm driving. It's one of the best ways to listen to podcasts. It's probably the number one way most people do. The best times of the day where I'm not having to focus on work or something else, and I can actually focus on their content and get value from it and feed my mind intentionally. What I would recommend that you do this year in 2025, find people like that you aspire to be, that have done things that you want to do, and feed your mind intentionally this year. Make it a habit to listen to content that inspires and motivates you every single day. You have time to do it. Do it when you're making dinner, do it when you're driving or in the shower. The only thing I would, recommend that you pay attention to is, and Andy actually talks about this, I've heard him mention it in some of his videos, you don't want to be a success zombie. So you don't want to be someone that constantly consumes content from people like Andy and Ed, but you never take action. You want to be someone that consumes their content, picks up on certain things in it that you can apply to your life, maybe write it down, take notes of it, and then you actually take action and apply it.
And it's a very real phenomenon. They belong to every single coaching group. They consume every single person's podcast, and nothing ever changes in their life. Those are the people who are success zombies. They never cross the chasm from analyzing and learning to actually doing. And that's the most important journey that you're going to take. But if you don't ever jump from the learning and consuming and analyzing and thinking to the doing, nothing's ever going to materialize.
So feed your mind intentionally and take control of the person that you want to be this year. Make it a habit to do that. If you enjoyed the video and got value from it, all I ask is that you like the video and then share it with someone that it can help as well. Whether that's, a colleague, someone in your family, a friend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope and pray that 2025 is the greatest year of your entire life. I appreciate you being here more than you'll ever know. So thank you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.